to you, too. I would talk to you in real life.
I'm just teasing. Well, thank you, thank you.
You're very nice.
Well, you are very beautiful, and I'm an old guy. But, you know,
Oh.
but I want to thank you. You came all the way from London directly to here, and I appreciate that. It's a long trip, so thank you very much.
I did. It's an 11-hour flight, but I've been out of the country for 6 months.
That's right. You're doing a play.
Yeah, I just finished.
Okay.
I was doing Oleana by David Mamet.
Okay.
Which is sort of an intense play.
That is an intense play. Isn't
Yeah.
there a lot of yelling? And is that the one with the professor and the girl accuses him?
Of sexual harassment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But it's weighted in his favor. So by the end of the play, every night I'd have to get beaten up. He slaps me and then he puts my head over. He slams my head over a desk and stands over me with the chair and is about to kill me. So it wasn't really a fun. I mean, it was fun, but in a sort of bizarre way. I spent 6 months being beaten up.
Well, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you about doing a theater in London, because I know it's in America, you know, these people with these cell phones, I imagine the British are more polite, or aren't they, with the cell phones? Do they shut them off, or do they...
No, they're not. I mean, you'd think they'd be more polite, but no, we'd have phones ringing throughout an entire show, and sometimes we'd add it into the show and say, like, I think you better answer your phone, and see if the audience would pick up on that. But we had really vocal audiences, like, it was kind of scary. Sometimes when he's standing over me with the chair about to kill me, people would yell, "Kill her!" or "Do it!" And I would...
Where were you playing? See, I always thought of thinking people... That's what I think of London, sort of being sort of polite and men in big top hats sitting enjoying the theater, but it's not. It gets pretty raucous.
Yeah, it gets raucous. We had to compete with the football, like they had the European football tournament,
right.
And there's a pub next door, and they get really drink a lot. During one of our shows, they were cheering, "Come on, England!" Like in the middle of, I was saying something horrible, like, "You tried to rape me. Come on, England!" And I didn't. Sort of distracting.
Did you like living there? How did you find? See, I always found stepping off the curb, when the cars would go,
Oh, it's terrifying.
I know, it's the scariest thing in the world.
It is. They're gigantic, those buses. And they're wobbly too. You think they're going to tip over at any moment.
Obviously, you stayed right in the city.
I did. I had a really cute flat.
A flat?
Across the river.
Now, what was the problem with pigeons? I read somewhere you had trouble with pigeons. Does this make any sense?
Yes. No. My family makes fun of me for this. I developed a really intense neurotic fear of pigeons because when we were doing the Born Supremacy, we shot in Berlin, and we did the scene in a subway, and
right.
The pigeons actually fly into the subway, and the ceilings are not very high, so they would fly like at your face, trying to get. They're kind of stupid, and they would try and get up out of the ceiling, but obviously they can't, so they would fly at your face. So that's where my fear developed. But then it got worse in England, because in England they're everywhere. There are more pigeons than there are people, to the point where they have to have like hawks flying around Trafalgar Square, hunting down these pigeons. And you see tourists like feeding them corn and stuff, and I wanted to throttle them and be like, "Don't encourage them." They're really vicious. They're like flying rats, and they.
Did you take any medication while you were I mean, what is there a difference between sort of New York pigeons? I know you live in New York. I've never heard you complain about pigeons at all. What is the difference between the British?
The New York pigeons and we have an understanding that I have like my sidewalk space, they have their sidewalk space. They stay away from me.
Right.
In England, the pigeons kind of own everything. I mean, and they're fat too. They have really big bums, and they seem like they can't really fly the way that they're supposed to, so they kind of try to fly, but then they kind of fall a little bit, and I don't know, I didn't appreciate the pigeons.
So the English have big fat-ass pigeons.
They do.
I'd never heard that before. I'd never heard anyone come back with that.
If you ever have a rock band, you should have a song called British Fat-Ass Pigeons.
That would be a good song. All right, look, we'll take a break. More with Julie right after. Stiles, one of the stars of the Born Supremacy. Now, you grew up right in New York City. That can be a tough city for a kid growing up.
Yeah, I loved it, but yeah it toughens you up, sure.
Did you ever get in trouble?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, I went through a phase. I shoplifted, but.
Oh, well, we call that.
No, but it was so like silly. I went through a phase in junior high school where I fancied myself a gangster. And I'm serious, I was really into like NWA, and I wore an LA Raiders hat, and I talked like a homegirl.
Wait a minute, NWA?
Yeah, NWA. seriously, I wanted to marry Ice Cube. Yeah, so I went to, I had a bunch of sort of bad influence friends, and we went to a Pathmark, and I tried to steal a compact mirror, but I wasn't really a badass, so I couldn't stop moving, and I just kept walking around as I was trying to slip this compact mirror up my sleeve. I got caught, and I never got.
Now, so you got caught by the security guard, the manager, a clerk? Who caught you?
This old lady.
You mean
This
just a woman shopping?
Old lady. No, this woman shopping, because I walked by her, she saw me do it. She grabbed my arm and she said, "What's this?" And she took me to the cash register.
So this old lady dragged this badass NWA fan up to the register?
Up to the register, yes. She called me out on it and told the person who worked there and said, "You better pay for it." And I was like sobbing. It was very embarrassing, and my friends quickly realized that I was not a gangster at all.
Now, did your parents have to come down? Did they call your parents?
No, they didn't. Oh, so my parents obviously know now.
Well, so they're finding out for the first time.
Yes, I think so. It taught me a good lesson. I never did anything bad again.
Now, you said you talked like a homegirl. Can you give me a little of that?
What would I say? Okay, I used to do this character when I was a kid and before I became an actress, and her name was Tina Shamiro.
Yeah.
And she talked like this. Her name was Tina Shamiro, and she was from Brooklyn. And so when I went through school, I talked like I was Tina Shamiro, and people would ask me, "Where are you from?" And instead of saying Manhattan, I would say, "I'm from Brooklyn." And they'd say, "What part?" And I'd say, "Bay Ridge." And they'd say, "You from Bay Ridge?" And I'd say, "Yeah, I'm from Bay Ridge. You got a problem with that?"
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. That's very good. So these are all part of your acting skills. Now, as an actress, obviously you have to play all kinds of roles. Do you ever get in a situation where they want to, we have to learn a new skill or that type of thing?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean,
What's the strange? Is there a strange one where you just kind of went, "Yeah, I can do that," and then you didn't know it, and then you sort of learned it?
I had to learn how to milk a cow for The Prince and Me, which is a strange skill, and nobody really milks cows by hand anymore.
Oh, they don't?
No, because it's very labor intensive.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. I can give you a gag symbol. No, it's very silly.
Yeah.
I don't know why dairy maids were subjected to that way back when.
Is there any secret to milking a cow? What would it be? Warm hands?
Yeah, we're getting into dirty talk. I don't want to get into dirty talk.
In your 14-year-old filthy mind, you're making it dirty talk.
14.
But in my 54-year-old sleazeball mind,
Right.
It's interesting.
Top down.
Okay. Now, tell us about the Born Supreme. I really enjoyed this picture.
You did, yeah.
Well, I like the first one. I like them because they're so gritty real. There's no stupid special effects where people drive a car and go, "Whoa," over a bridge.
Right.
No, I mean, it all looks like it could be happening.
Yeah, no, it's very I think of it as like the Smart Man's action movie. It's very psychological, and Matt Damon's so good in it, and it's just a cool movie, I think.
And your character obviously comes back from the last.
Yeah.
And tell us about your character. What it is she does?
I'm sort of like the missing link. I was the last person to see Jason Bourne alive,
Right.
and he's been in hiding, and the CIA thinks that he's responsible for multiple murders, and so they're tracking him down, and they get me to sort of help them track him down, even though I thought that I'd started my life over again. And meanwhile, he knows that I'm the last person to know really what happened, so I'm the answer. He comes to me to get answers about his past.
Okay, here's the scene. This is this is in Berlin now.
This is in Berlin.
And you've gone down on the street to meet him, and they've got you wired up and everything.
Well, yeah, he was holding a sniper to her head, so
Right.
they kind of had to.
Let's take a look.
My words. What did I say? I said, leave me alone. Leave me out of it.
I did, I swear, Jason, I told them that I believed you.
I'm gonna ask you some simple questions.
Delta, give me something. I need something. They're on it.
Who's Pamela Landy?
She's a task force chief.
Is she running Treadstone?
No, she's the deputy director.
Why is she trying to kill me?
Last week, an agency field officer tried to make a buy-up of one of her ops. He was trying to sell out a mole or something, and you got to...
I killed him.
You left a print. There were partial prints that trace back to Treadstone. They know it was you.
That is insane.
Why are you doing this? Why come back now?
Stop. Last week, I was 4,000 miles away in India. They came for me. This ends now.
We're going to catch you almost tomorrow. Hey, did you you get punked by Ashton Kutcher as well?
I did. It
What
was
was yours?
exciting.
What was yours? Yeah.
Mine was kind of silly.
Yeah.
It was making fun of me as an actress, basically. I was doing a press junket, and they set up this sort of fake photo shoot, and it was really weird. I had to put on like antique clothing. It was supposed to be really valuable, and I kept saying, "This is really awkward. Why am I doing this?" And then the artifacts actually broke, and they started freaking out. And I was sort of like, "It's not my problem," so I didn't whip out Tina Shamiro. I should have.
You should have.
I should have.
Yeah, that would have done it. That would have done it for him. Okay, terrific. So the picture opens tomorrow, and well, good luck. It doesn't need luck. It's a great picture. Thank you. Thank you, Julia Stiles. Be right back with our Jeopardy champ, Ken Jennings, right after this.